someone else. I'm on the rise, mono green, no compromise. Hey, ho, someone goes, still is crushing all my foes. Hey, ho, super lows, old school green and overloads. Giant growth, pop it high, swing with all, you're gonna die. Scratch, fight, feel the bite, mono green, I win the fight.
Hello, fellow old schoolers. Echo Greg here with another recorded webcam match. This is round 4 of the Guildhouse Winter event. It is a Swiss-style event, meaning we play a paired opponent, one match a week, similar to an in-person event, but still held over webcam, and again, drawn out over several weeks instead of all in one day. So my record going into this is 2-1 so far. Again, started out 2-0, lost match 3, and here we are on to match 4. So this is an EC event, which means 4 strips. My deck for this event is Green Lightning, which is a mostly mono green deck with a light splash for bolts in the main, and then some key sideboard cards. Artifact Blast for those trikes and other hefty artifacts, but mostly trikes. Red Elemental Blast for the problematic blue cards, Disintegrates for trolls and an extra little bit of punch, and then Falling Star for the Weenie Mirrors. The green stuff's pretty usual. You've got 4 pixies, 4 Urnums. I prefer the Urnums over the bottles. 3 sprites, 4 elves, 4 scavenger folk, 4 sprites, scrub sprites versus fire sprites. Then the 4 giant growths, pair of crumbles. We get into some of the fast mana in a Mox Emerald and a Mox Ruby, a Lotus, of course the Chaos Orb, and a Sol Ring to help get those Urnums out a little faster. The lands are 2 Maze of Ith, 4 forests, 4 Pendelhavens, 2 cities, 4 taigas, again the 4 strips, and the 4 factories. And then in addition the sideboard 2 Tranquilities help against Blood Moon, Crusade, Moat, Abyss, things like that. And then 3 Whirling Dervish for any of the black decks. As my opponent in this match, I do have their deck list. It is Argument Desk, and he is on a Lion de Bolt with a Shahrazad package. A very aggressive Bernie. 4 Lions, 4 White Knights, 4 Serendibs, 4 Shahrazads, 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Chains, 4 Side Blasts, so he's got the full 12 bolts in there. 2 Disenchants, a Wheel, Chaos Orb, Balance, the Blue Power, Time Twister, Time Walk, and Ancestral. The 3 on-colored Moxen in Ruby, Pearl, and Sapphire, Lotus, Sol Ring, and then the lands, 4 Tundras, 4 Plateaus, 4 Strips, 3 Cities, 2 Volcanics, and 2 Factories. On the sideboard, he's got 2 Energy Flux, 2 Disenchant, 4 Swords, 4 Black Vice, 3rd Factory, Divine Offering, and a Karma. So out of the sides, the only thing that probably does much against me is the Swords. Potentially could bring in the 3rd Factory as another blocker, but between my Scavenger Folk and Crumbles and Bolts, and obviously Strip Mines, not super worried about that. So Swords is probably the only thing in the sideboard that will make much of an impact against me. So with that getting said, let's get to the game. Roll up with our starting 7. Deciding whether to keep. We do. I'm on the play and I start with a Taiga, an Emerald, Sol Ring, and I play a Pixies and just burn for 1. So pretty good start for me. Only one thing on the board creature-wise, and of course it's quickly bolted, but developing fast mana. I've got enough for an Urnum right now, if I have one. And I do, so I play the Forest, drop Urnum, and then drop a Scavenger Folk. So off to a pretty fast start. Pass back. There's a Tundra. Bolts the Scavenger Folk and passes. So at this point, I don't know that the swords are not in the main, so I'm getting a pretty good idea based on the bolt. It turned out I'm playing Lion Dib Bolt. So strip that kind of take him off white. Again, I'm gonna have to ride the Urnum here. I do swing in for 4. Then he drops to the city. Play a Pendelhaven, swing in for, and pass back. So he's at 12. He does Ancestral himself. Again, plays a Savannah Lion, takes damage down to 11. Savannah Lion is going to get Forest Walk. He's tapped out, so I'm going to come in. He chump blocks, and I throw a Pixies down. So again, my thought process here is I got to get in as much damage with that Urnum as I can before he swords it. But in this case, he double chains it. So Urnum down, swinging for 2, but then I've got another Urnum. So that drops him down to 9. Things are looking pretty grim. There's a Strip Mine and a Dib. So Dib is going to get Forest Walk. I am going to attack with both here because he's so low. If he wants to take out the Pixies, that's fine because I'll put him down to 5, and then the Dib's going to chip him down even less, which he does. So he takes 4 to 5. Then I play a Fire Sprite, and then pass to him. Dib knocks him down to 4, and yeah, he sweeps it up. He knows probably not getting out of that one. Just too low life. I could sit there and just let the Dib kill him and do nothing else. So we move on to our sideboard games. I'm going to bring in the Rattle Mental Blasts. Again, I've seen the blue cards. I've seen Dib. I've seen Ancestral. I haven't seen the White Knights. I've just seen the Lions, so not sure if I'm going to bring in the Falling Star or not. Usually would in this matchup, so I probably do, but that's probably all I'm bringing. I'm not worried about the Artifact Blasts. Not worried really about the Disintegrates. Tranquility doesn't do much, and Dervish is okay, but not super great against all the ball. Usually doesn't live long enough to get big enough to really matter, so just leave those in the boards. And we'll shuffle up and move on to game number 2. So our argument Dex will get the choice to play, which he will take. Looks like we're both good with our hands, and he leads off with a Tundra and passes. I drop a Pendelhaven into an Elf, and there's the first White Knight. So Plateau into White Knight. Which is pretty good for me. I've got the Pendelhaven down. I'm not worried about the Knight so much. If you get the second Knight, that might be a problem. The pair of first strikes can be problematic. So I crack in for 1 with the Elf, and then drop a Taiga and a Fire Sprite. Factory. Tap in Chaos Orb, Bolt the Sprites, swing for 2, dropping me to 18. I play a Forest, attacking for 2, putting him to 17, and then I just pass back. So, not a great creature start for me. Not able to put much on the board at this point. Yeah, so my opponent is activating Chaos Orb on my Taiga. Taking that out. Activates Factory, swings in. I've got a crumble for it, but I do take 2 from the Knight. Dropping to 16, and then he bolts my Elf. City of Brest, Chaos over my own, and pass back. Swings for 2, putting me to 14, and throws out a Lion. Tap, draw, there's a Scrub Sprites, which is going to be great with the Pendelhaven if it survives. Again, he's had bolts and stuff for everything else so far. He does swing in for both. I'll block and pump. And he's got a Psy Blast, but I've got a Red Elemental Blast for that, so that's huge. I will take a damage from the city, and then 2 from the Savannah Lions, dropping me to 11, but I do take out his Knight, and now I've got a Sprite sitting there, able to stare down that Savannah Lions all day. There's a Dib. That could be a trouble. Passes back, and I just pass back. Puts him down to 16. He's got a chain, but I will Giant Growth. And then, knowing that I have a 4/4 flyer, he just passes back not to lose his Dib. There's a Factory, which is also going to help with the Lion. He'll drop down to 15 on his turn. He attacks with the Sprites. I block, I pump, and then I Giant Growth. And then he throws another Dib down. I still do have the Chaos Orb sitting there. There's an Urnum, so that's going to help. He attacks. I take a damage, go to 10, and I'm going to activate. And yep, there goes the good flip. There goes the Dib. Savannah Lions gets Forced Walk, which could be a bit of a problem. So I'm going to attack with everything. And then, even with the Forced Walk, I'm definitely winning this race right now. So he decides not to block. So he's going to take 8 damage, going down to 6. Yep, and then I've got a Red Elemental Blast for his Time Twister, and he scoops him up. So that was his out, was trying to get to that. So some pretty close games. Game 1, just kind of quick Urnum, really wasn't able to do much and answer it. He did answer it, but I was able to flop another one down. But he had to spend 2 burn spells to take care of it, which is one of the great parts about Urnum, is having that 5th toughness. Survives Blue Elemental, or Psionic Blast, and forces him to either block with a creature and spend the spell, so you're 2 for 1 in them, or just spend 2 spells. So either way, you're 2 for 1 in them at a minimum, which is very, very good in this matchup. And then, I've got more creatures, so they have to spend their burn on my creatures, which means I survive longer. And then I have lots of tricks that, combat tricks with Pendelhaven, Maze, obviously pumping factories, but Giant Growth, and I have bolts of my own, which the bolts didn't come into play. I did not see any bolts in these 2 games, so not really useful there, but those Red Elemental Blasts really won game 2. I probably would have lost if I had not been able to kill that, blow up my creature and stop me from taking out that Knight. There's just been too much damage on the board. And then letting him Twister and refilling when I had such a clear advantage there would have probably been real problematic. Obviously, he could have whiffed and not drawn much, or I could have drawn a great hand and filled up with bolts and been able to take it from there. But with the commanding board presence I had in the Urnum, Elf, or Sprites, Urnum Sprites and Factory, plus a Pendelhaven, and with him only at less than 10 life, 6 I believe, it was looking pretty strong. So definitely wanted to stop him from getting anything, and so having those 2 cards was key in winning game 2, I think. But they're very, very good games. I do take it down 2-0, so that improves my record to 3-1 with 1 more match to go. So still live for top 8. Top 8 most likely is going to be either 4-1, maybe a 3-2 record will sneak in, but we'll have to see. So 3-1 going into the final round. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time.